Once upon a time, in a sprawling woodland where the trees stood tall and proud, their branches weaving a canopy that filtered the sunlight into golden patches on the forest floor, there lived a cunning fox named Reynard. His fur was a rich reddish brown, sleek and shiny, his eyes glinted with mischief, and his bushy tail swished like a banner as he roamed. The woodland was alive with creatures. Squirrels scampered up trunks. Birds trilled from the treetops, and deer stepped softly through the undergrowth. Reynard was known among them all, not for his kindness, but for his cleverness. He could talk his way out of any trouble and trick his way into any prize. He lived in a snug den beneath an old oak, its roots curling around him like a cradle, and he spent his days prowling the forest, always on the lookout for something to eat or something to amuse him. One warm afternoon, as the sun hung lazily in the sky and the air buzzed with the hum of bees, Reynard trotted along a winding path, his nose twitching at the scent of ripe berries drifting from a nearby thicket. His stomach growled, and he licked his lips, imagining a sweet feast. But as he neared the bushes, he heard a rustling and paused. Out hopped a plump rabbit named Thistle, her fur soft and gray, her ears long and alert, her paws clutching a bundle of berries she'd gathered. "Good day, Thistle," Reynard said, his voice smooth as honey. "Those berries look delicious. Surely you've gathered too many for one little rabbit." Thistle's eyes narrowed. She knew Reynard's ways. "They're for my family, Fox, and I've worked hard for them. You'll not trick me out of them." Reynard grinned, his teeth flashing. "Trick you? Never. I only thought we could share a friendly meal between neighbors." Thistle clutched her berries tighter. "I've heard your tales, Reynard. You'd eat the berries and me too if you could." And with that, she darted off, leaving Reynard with an empty paw and a rumbling belly. He huffed, "Silly rabbit, I'll find my own feast," and continued on, determined to outsmart someone before the day was done. The path led him to a clearing where a stream gurgled over smooth stones, its water clear and cool. There, perched on a rock, was a crane named Clara, her long legs elegant, her beak sharp and precise, dipping into the stream to pluck tiny fish. Reynard watched, his mouth watering. "Greetings, Clara," he called, sauntering closer. "You've got quite a catch there. Those fish look tasty, but surely it's hard work for one bird. Why not let me help you eat them?" Clara lifted her head, her eyes keen. "Help me eat them, Reynard? I know your help. It ends with you full and me hungry. These fish are mine, caught with my own skill." Reynard tilted his head, feigning hurt. "You wound me, crane. I only want to lighten your load. A friend's generosity." Clara flapped her wings. "Generosity from a fox is a trap with teeth. Be off, Reynard, and fish for yourself." She turned back to her meal, and Reynard slunk away, his tail drooping. Twice now he'd been foiled, and his hunger gnawed at him like a thorn. He muttered, "I'll show them all. I'm the cleverest in this wood," and pressed deeper into the forest. The trees grew denser here, their shadows long and cool, the air thick with the scent of moss and pine. As he padded along, he heard a low buzzing and followed it to a hollow tree where a swarm of bees danced around a golden honeycomb dripping with sweetness. Reynard's eyes widened. "A treasure," he whispered, his hunger forgotten in the glow of opportunity. But guarding the hive was a bear named Bruin, his fur dark and shaggy, his paws massive, his growl a rumble that shook the leaves. "Who's there?" Bruin roared, spotting Reynard. "Just me, your friend Reynard," the fox replied, his voice silky. "I see you found a fine hive, but surely so much honey is too much for one bear. Why not share with a poor, hungry fox?" Bruin snorted. "Share? I've worked to find this, Fox, and I know your tricks. You'd take it all and leave me stung. This honey's mine." Reynard stepped closer. "Oh, Bruin, I'd never take it all, just a taste, and I could help you guard it. Think of the teamwork." Bruin's eyes narrowed. Teamwork with you ends in trouble. Be gone before I swat you. Reynard backed off, his mind racing. 3 times refused, yet he wouldn't give up. He circled the tree, plotting, if they won't give, I'll take, he decided, and waited until dusk, when Bruin lumbered off to drink from the stream. With the bear gone, Reynard crept to the hive. The bees buzzed angrily, but he was quick. He snatched a chunk of honeycomb, the sweet golden prize dripping in his jaws, and dashed away, stings prickling his nose and paws. He laughed through the pain. Clever Reynard wins again, and settled under a bush to savor his prize. The honey was rich and warm, coating his tongue, filling his belly. He licked his lips, smug and satisfied. But as night fell, the forest grew quiet, too quiet, and Reynard felt a shiver. He'd eaten alone, no one to share his triumph, no one to laugh with. He shrugged it off, I need no one, and curled up to sleep, dreaming of more tricks and more feasts. The next morning, the woodland buzzed with whispers. Thistle told the rabbits of Reynard's greed, Clara warned the birds, and Bruin roared to the bears about the stolen honey. The animals gathered by the stream, their voices a chorus of discontent. Reynard's tricks have gone too far, Thistle said. He takes and takes, but gives nothing back. Clara nodded. He thinks cleverness is enough, but it's hollow without kindness. Bruin growled. He'll learn, or he'll find no friends here. They hatched a plan, not out of spite, but to teach, and waited for Reynard to show his sly face again. Days passed, and Reynard grew bold, his belly full of honey but his heart oddly empty. He trotted back to the clearing, seeking another prize. There he saw a sight, a pile of nuts, berries, and fish, left unguarded by the stream. A fool's fortune, he crowed, and rushed forward, but as he reached for it, a net of vines dropped from the trees, tangling his legs, trapping him. He yelped, twisting and tugging, but the more he fought, the tighter it held. Out stepped Thistle, Clara, and Bruin, their eyes stern but not cruel. What's this? Reynard snarled. A trap for me? Thistle hopped closer, not to harm Reynard, but to show you, your tricks take from us all, yet you gain nothing true. Clara added, you're clever, Fox, but cleverness alone is a lonely path. Bruin rumbled, we made this feast to share, but you'd steal it, so now you'll wait. Reynard glared, then softened. The net wasn't painful, just firm, and the feast smelled so good. He sat, caught, as the animals shared the food, laughing and chatting, their voices warm. Hours passed, the sun dipped low, and they freed him, leaving a small pile of nuts beside him. Next time, join us, Thistle said, and they vanished into the wood. Reynard ate alone again, the nuts tasty but bitter with thought. He'd won the honey, but lost something else. The forest hummed around him, alive with bonds he'd ignored. He lay in his den that night, the oak's roots cold, and pondered. Cleverness had filled his belly, but sharing might fill his days. From then on, Reynard still tricked now and then, but sometimes, just sometimes, he'd bring a berry or a fish to the stream, sit with Thistle, Clara, and Bruin, and listen. A fox learning slowly that a feast with friends outshone a prize snatched alone. The woodland whispered his tale, a lesson in the wind, and he slept, a little wiser under the stars. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.